It's May 22nd, and we're coming live to you from the grounds of Dublin Castle to mark the 5th anniversary of Ireland voting yes to marriage equality, and to officially launch the 2020 Digital Dublin Pride Festival. Your host for the evening, Jed Darling.
Welcome back to Dublin Castle. It's exactly 5 years to the day since 1,201,607 Irish people left their homes and voted yes to the 34th Amendment to the Irish Constitution, making Ireland the first country in the world to bring in marriage equality by popular vote. The following morning, like thousands of other people in Dublin, I got a call to run to the castle. There's a certain Disney quality about being told to run to a castle. It feels right that we're here. Even though it's only a handful of us, even though we can't hug each other the same way we did 5 years ago, it feels right that we should be back here today. We're here not only to mark the 5th anniversary of the vote for marriage equality, but also to launch the 2020 Digital Dublin Pride Festival. And I'm delighted to be joined live with my colleagues Eddie McGuinness, Lisa Connell, and representing this year's Grand Marshal, Vanessa O'Connell. Joining us by video, we have the Lord Mayor of Dublin, Tom Brabazon, from the 2015 Yes Equality campaign, Grainne, Healy and Brien Sheehan, and the presidents of the European and International Pride Organisers Association. Of course, we wish you could all be here with us. We wanted to find a way to symbolically have you present. And with huge thanks to the Dublin GAA team, the National GAA management, and our favourite referee, David Goff, we have the ultimate symbol of the people of Dublin and of every community in Ireland, Sam Maguire. It's worth noting that since Ireland voted yes to marriage equality, Dublin has never lost an All-Ireland Senior Football Championship. We have some traditions with Dublin Pride. And one of them is that the first guest to officially launch each year's Pride Festival be the Lord Mayor of Dublin. So let's go over to his home, the Mansion House. Ardmura, Walya Achlea, Tom Brabazon.
Hello everybody. I'm delighted on behalf of Dublin City Council and on behalf of the citizens of Dublin to launch this year's Pride Festival. Throughout COVID-19, we have as a city been forced to adapt to our new circumstances. Dublin has been adapting for over 1,000 years, and the festival is no different this year. We now have a virtual and digital version of the festival. Pride has been a leading light in throughout the COVID-19 crisis. They have been working on keeping people connected and keeping that sense of community around the city. They've also been offering wonderful practical support, such as delivering food, etc., to citizens, and they are to be commended for that. May 22nd is the day 5 years ago when the marriage equality referendum was passed by 71% of Dubliners. It was a wonderful day in the days afterwards to see the celebration of Dubliners in the wake of that result. I am absolutely delighted to launch the festival, and I look forward to marching in the virtual festival on June 28th. Happy Pride.
Thank you, Ardmura. Every year, Dublin Pride picks a Grand Marshal to lead out our parade. It's our way of recognising and honouring someone who has contributed to the lives of LGBTI+ people in our city. This year, we want to honour all our frontline workers who have made extraordinary sacrifices to serve and protect not only our community, but every person and every community across the island. In choosing someone to speak for all frontline workers, we wanted someone who knew how to speak without stealing the voice of individuals. We're delighted to have someone who has been doing exactly that for Dublin Pride for over 10 years. Vanessa O'Connell. Vanessa.
Thank you, Jed, Eddie and the Pride Committee. This is such an honour to share this collective Grand Marshal role for Pride 2020, and I accept it with pride. I am very humbled to stand here and represent frontline workers. To be acknowledged during this global emergency as one of the frontline workers is very surreal. I don't see myself in that category, as those who work on the coalface, such as our amazing GPs, nurses, doctors, cleaners, porters, care assistants, caterers, and all those people working in hospitals and residential settings. Also our amazing first responders, ambulance, fire brigade, and Garda personnel. Lest we forget the retail staff, truck drivers, delivery personnel on all levels, from public transport, food, through to postal workers. I would be honoured to carry the torch for all of these amazing individuals. You are very much appreciated, and each one a hero in my eyes. Thank you for acknowledging not only my role as interpreter, but also my activism and volunteer work in the LGBTQ+ community. Myself and Eddie have stood shoulder to shoulder on many occasions. In our silent response during the Repeal the 8 campaign, when those who will remain nameless decided to target our community. Interpreting for Trans Pride, campaigning, this time 5 years ago, in Northside shopping centre with my good friend Lynda Sheridan, during the run-up to the marriage equality, where we were exposed to some verbal abuse, but on the whole, a very positive experience. A highlight for me was when my parents, bless them, going out of their way to bring us refreshments, and my dad wanting to defend our honour when some ill-informed people were shouting abuse. The MarRef was a very significant time for myself and my daughter, as she turned 18 that year. So going to the polls on the 22nd of May 2015 was her first vote. I remember going to Dublin County Council for the registration forms, which she was delighted to distribute to her friends and fellow students in college in advance of the registration deadline. After all, every vote counted. The walk to the polling station was both exciting and daunting, and while the rule to prevent campaigning at the polling station was in place, no memorabilia, etc., we decided to use eyeshadows and paint rainbows on our eyelids. Now, we were the only ones who knew they were there, but it gave us that extra boost of confidence and faith that our country's true colours would shine through on that day. My daughter took my hand as we passed through the school gates and said, "I truly believe we got this." Still makes my heart burst with joy recalling that moment. And as they say, the rest is history. Back to the current climate we find ourselves in. When this pandemic hit, we all wanted to play our part and again answer Ireland's call. For me, the resource I had to offer was my Irish Sign Language. One of a team of sign language interpreters, both on and off screen, I think this is a fantastic endorsement of the deaf community and their language. Like most professions, there is still a lot of people and work going on in the background in order for us to provide the best service we can. Pride has always been accessible to the deaf community as far back as I can remember. I think my first time to interpret for Pride was back in 2009 or thereabouts. And while music through sign language is not everyone's cup of tea, it is one of those highlights of my calendar year. An opportunity to get together with our tribe and reflect on what we have achieved and where to concentrate our collective efforts in the future. Believe it or not, I'm actually quite a very shy person, and while I stand in front of an audience of thousands looking very confident, I'm actually living vicariously through the signers or speakers on the day, enjoying being that voice of authority, the wonderful singer, or the sassy drag queen. And on that note, I'll put my interpreting cap back on so we can get on with the celebrations. My goodness, where does time go? Happy 5th MarRef. This is for all the frontline services out there. The LGBTQ+ community are with you, and we thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa, and thank you to all our frontline service workers. Next up, we have a woman who once chained herself to the gates of Dáil Éireann in order to start a national conversation about marriage equality. Now managing editor of GCN and member of the board of Dublin Pride, Lynda O'Connell. Lisa.
Thank you, Dad, and good evening, everyone. It is my honour to serve my community as the Managing Editor of GCN and as a voluntary director on the Pride Board. GCN is the national LGBT press in Ireland and has been reflecting queer life since 1988. Dublin Pride has been celebrating and protesting for our community since the 80s also. As we honour the 5th anniversary of MarRef, it is important to note that 2015 was somewhat of a wonder year for the LGBT community. In May, we made GRAW the law, and in July, thanks to decades of tireless trans activism, gender recognition legislation was passed. The LGBT community has a fabulous and famous resilience and solidarity, and this year is no different. Our theme, In This Together, reflects our understanding that community will make all the difference with dealing with the challenges that we all face going forward, including the many issues that our LGBT community still faces. This evening kicks off a weekend-long celebration of our 5th anniversary. Do join GCN online for a special celebratory event tomorrow evening from 7:30 on YouTube, hosted by Una Mullally, MarRef 5 years on. Jed, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Now, let's hear from the Grand Marshals of Dublin Pride in 2015, also part of the Yes Equality campaign, Grainne Healy and Brien Sheehan.
Hi everyone, happy Dublin Pride. Here we are 5 years on from the marriage equality win, and it's a fast 5 years. I want to first of all start by thanking everyone in Dublin Pride for the wonderful job they do for us every year. I also want to thank everyone who knocked on doors, gave out leaflets, talked to their mammies and their grannies back in 2015 to make this historic event such a landslide win. It was an honour in 2015 to be one of the Grand Marshals at Dublin Pride that year with Brien Sheehan and Mark Kelly. The pride at walking down O'Connell Street and all along the route, people clapping, people in tears, people really, I think, only coming to understand the enormity of the success and of the win, and what it meant for each of us individually, for our families, for the country. There's no doubt that gay or straight, that in 2015 was a moment that many people felt so proud to be Irish and so proud to be part of the win. So enjoy Dublin Pride. There is more to do, certainly. Our families are not equal yet. It is still difficult for young people to come out to their families in their schools. So we really need to continue the battle for equality. But, you know, there's no doubt that 2015 was a really significant milestone in that journey. I want to ask each of you in particular to support the younger members of the LGBTI community and also the older members. I think in particular the current COVID-19 times have been very tough. People unable to meet their friends or being cocooned in their homes. So let's really work, as we often do, as a real community, looking after our own and prioritising their needs. And I would ask each of you to think of some small way in which around Pride you might actually do that. Yeah, this year Pride will be different. We're not on the streets, but I look forward to the coming Prides when we will be back on the streets and we will continue to advocate and to be proud to be LGBT in Ireland. Final point, I think there's a lot of work to be done internationally in solidarity. In particular, I'm very concerned about what's happening in Poland and in Hungary. And I feel that as members of the EU, we really need to be putting pressure on those countries to start to make proper provision for the rights of LGBT people there. They are dangerous spaces to be in and very different to the space we find ourselves in Ireland. So Dublin Pride, let's keep going and let's work in solidarity for global LGBT rights. Thanks everybody.
Hello, I'm Brien Sheehan, co-director of Yes Equality, the former exec director of Grainne, the Gay and Lesbian Equality Network. Firstly, congratulations to all at Dublin Pride for pulling together a virtual Pride this year, including this celebration of MarRef 5 years on. It's a great thrill to represent all of us who campaigned in Yes Equality in 2015 in that great summer for equality as Grand Marshal of Dublin Pride with Grainne Healy from Marriage Equality and Mark Kelly of the ICCL. This week, 5 years ago, all across the country, people were frantically doing last-minute canvassing and great creative campaigning to ensure that we got out every possible yes vote. It was and is extraordinary that such a phenomenal and organic effort by so many people led to that great outcome and made world history. The journey to the constitutional equality brought about by MarRef was a very long and for a long time a very lonely road. Many who fought those battles are no longer with us, including some who didn't live to see that great victory, and I think especially of Christopher Robson, Glen founder and a great advocate for so many of the progressive legal gains over decades. And I think too of the many who fought the MarRef battle with us, who are no longer here, especially Noel Whelan, without whose strategic brilliance we may just not have won the referendum. The journey to MarRef was tough and bruising. It involved many people and many organisations building the political and public support over many years. The advent of civil partnership in 2010 was a critical milestone in gaining visibility, recognition and trust from the public. With a very special word of thanks for the more than 2,000 same-sex couples who had civil partnerships in Ireland after the bill passed and who showed Irish people that our love and commitment was the same as others and only to be celebrated and cherished. In Glen, we fought hard for marriage-like civil partnership as being both politically achievable and materially important to same-sex couples and a crucial building block for equal marriage. We fought hard for legislation in advance of the referendum to recognise and protect same-sex headed families, and we fought hard to build the political willingness to go for a referendum. A huge thank you to the staff and board of Glen who laboured through every step of that journey, and to all of those people and organisations who contributed all along that road. So, 5 years on, we know there's much more to do to ensure that every LGBTI person can flourish in Ireland. We know that there's much more to do to ensure that LGBTI people everywhere have safety, security and equal opportunities in life. And we know this will only happen in a fair and equal society. There's a critically important opportunity now coming out of the COVID crisis to ensure that we build a republic here that's based on fairness, equality of outcome and justice. That's a challenge for the LGBTI movement, but it's a challenge for all of us. But this week, marking 5 years since MarRef, a huge congrats to everyone who campaigned. Revel in the memories and let's continue the work. Thank you.
Thank you, Grainne, and thank you, Brien. Now, let's find out a bit about our Digital Dublin Pride Festival from our own Mr. Pride, Eddie McGuinness.
Thank you very much, Jed. It is always a pleasure to tell you about what Pride is all about. Dublin Pride has been working alongside all the prides around Ireland and of course around the world, of trying to adapt in a way that has never been done before. So we're actually going to produce the first ever, not only World Digital Pride event, but here in Ireland, our first ever Digital Pride Festival. It's going to take place at the end of June. It's naturally going to be around the 18th of June to the 28th, and we have so much in store for you. And of course, our friends and our colleagues around Ireland have, in a way, come together, and we're going to have a whole host of events non-stop. But it is a celebration and it is who we are. So we're not forgetting where we come from and what we are all about. But most importantly, we have some messages from two major organisations who are coming together and working alongside us. We have Kristine, the president of EPOA, which is Europride, and of course the co-presidents of Interpride and World Pride. And they have a little message for you today.
Hello everybody, my name is Kristine Garina. I am President of European Pride Organisers Association, or Europride. Today, I bring you greetings from your European Pride family. It's a big day. We are showing our solidarity and our care for each other. We do not go out on the streets to celebrate until March, but we do still come together showing the amazing strengths of LGBTQI community, especially in times of crisis. The theme of the festival remains more important than ever: in this together. And I applaud your respect and care for frontline service workers and truly living your slogan and not just saying it. We are in this together. So let's celebrate, and we will be back on the streets when we can. But meanwhile, big congratulations to the first Digital Dublin Pride Festival. Europride sends you love and support as always. Happy Pride.
Hello, everybody. I'm joined here with Julian, my fellow co-president from Interpride. Our colleague and co-president, Lynda, is not able to join us today, but we want to send out a very happy Pride to everybody in Dublin and across Ireland and the world who are participating in Dublin Pride's first Digital Pride Festival. Congratulations on this.
Hi, everybody. Again, a huge congratulations to Dublin Pride on your first Digital Pride Festival. And we also want to take this opportunity to not only thank all of the community, our LGBT friends who are participating, but we also wanted to take this opportunity to thank the frontliners who have been absolutely amazing during this difficult time of COVID-19. It's all about coming together and bringing this to the world. In this together, hashtag in this together.
In this together. Thank you. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Thank you so much, Kristine. Europride, we love you. And of course, Interpride and World Pride, Andrew, and your co-chair, we have to say thank you very much. And we are looking forward to being part of the Global Pride event on the 27th of June. And of course, we're going to have a fun-filled week of non-stop entertainment. We, of course, have on the 18th of June our Pride debate, hosted by Adam Long from NXF, and of course we don't forget we fun events, the virtual events, and we ourselves really want you to be involved. We want you to be part of Pride. Get your submissions in for our virtual Pride parade on the 27th of June, and one of our events just before that is our virtual Pride dog show. We've little things in store for you there, but most importantly, this is your Pride. This is the way you can get a part of our community even more. We want Pride in your home, in your flats, no matter where. We want you to be part of what we are as a community. We want to say happy Pride to you all, and you'll find out more information, of course, on dublinpride.ie. And of course, I have to hand it back over to the man himself, Jed.
Thank you, Eddie, and thank you to everyone who's been here today. Special thanks to the Lord Mayor of Dublin and Dublin City Council for their continued support of Dublin Pride, to all the staff of Dublin Castle and the Office of Public Works for helping us to put this event on, and to the Dublin GAA football team and the National GAA management, and of course David for bringing our special guest Sam this evening. Today we're not just marking the anniversary of marriage equality and the launch of Digital Dublin Pride, and also Harvey Milk Day. We're also doing something very important. As part of our roadmap to reopening Ireland, we're taking our first step. We just had a live event in Dublin Castle. We're taking small steps, but the important thing is we're taking them together and we're doing them safely. We're going to finish off by showing you just how you can get involved in our virtual Pride Parade and Festival. And the ringmaster, Paul Ryder, along with Eddie, are going to talk you through it. So until I see you again in a couple of weeks' time, the only thing I have left to say is, Happy Pride. Bro Shauna.
But Eddie, it's not very gay. Where's all the Pride flags?
Give me a second. See? They don't call me Mr. Pride for nothing.
I just thought they called you that because you were older than Pride itself. Well listen, tell me how this virtual Pride Parade is going to work.
It's actually quite simple. What we want to do is get all the communities to come together. That's the LGBT community, our allies, our Pride partners, everyone in the community, to do their own Pride Parade. And we'd love them to video it, send it in to us. This is quite simple, and send it into dublinpride.ie. And we want everyone, no matter where you are, in your house, your home, and of course the flats, and of course a good farm. Yes, why not? And then, of course, we're going to show the world
So, are we going to judge them? Because I'm not getting all dressed up like this to walk 4.9 kilometres to sit and watch videos with you.
Oh, really?
So we are going to judge them?
Well, a little bit.
Right, well, should we take a look at a few?
Let's have a little look. Here's Healy Fox Roberts from Youghal Pride by the Sea.
Next up, we have the Von Medding family. Renee Von Medding and Audrey Rooney and their daughters, Ava and Aria Von Medding. They are 3 and 1 years of age and they live in Dublin 8.
This is Sean and Colin marching past the door.
Next up, we've got Clodagh Leonard from SOAR, who's also the former chair of Dublin Pride.
I love this one. This is Liam Weldon and of course Dennis, his husband, and of course Mossy the dog.
Colin and Sean are next, who are marching past the Mansion House in Dublin.
This is one of my favourites. Pride Parade with Dublin Pride teddy bear as the Grand Marshal. And of course, a lot of drag dolls.
Representing Carlow Pride, it's Robbie O'Brien.
Hi, it's Robbie from Carlow Pride. Just want to wish everyone a happy social distancing Pride. Get involved.
This is what community is all about. Carried Away and the residents of Derry Drive, Dublin 12 in Crumlin.
Next up, the big boss man Jed from our Pride, our Dublin Pride, marching at Ivy Trust, Kevin Street on Dublin 8.
His brew from New York City, living here in Dublin, and he knows how to sing, and he'll be celebrating this year at our Dublin Pride concert. Jennifer, Caroline with their little girl herself, Healy from Cork.
Next up, we've got Sonia Mulligan, who's all the way in Drimna in Dublin 12. Ivy Trust, Kevin Street, Pride Bingo Night, having social distancing dancing with their own families. Our very own Dill and Marie with their kids, Phoenix and Xavier from Dublin. Well, that was fun. I could really get used to this. I think I might start a talent show and call it the Ringmasters Drag Race.
That's an outing I'd go to.
Well, there you have it. That's how our virtual Pride Parade is going to work.
And you can find out more information at dublinpride.ie about our Digital Pride Festival. It's your festival, so take part.